Welcome to DRM News, where we bring you the most important stories from around the globe. Stay with us as we unpack today's top headlines.
On December 29, 2024, South Korea witnessed its deadliest air disaster in history when Jeju Air Flight 7C-2216 crashed at Muan International Airport. The Boeing 737-800, which was arriving from Bangkok with 175 passengers and 6 crew members on board, attempted to land shortly after 9 a.m. However, during the landing, the aircraft belly landed and skidded off the runway, crashing into a wall and a fiery explosion. Tragically, 179 people lost their lives, making this the deadliest air accident in South Korean history. The 2 surviving crew members, a man and a woman, were rescued from the tail section of the burning aircraft and were rushed to a nearby hospital with serious injuries. Investigators are currently looking into possible causes, including a potential bird strike, which may have caused the plane's landing gear to malfunction. This accident is the worst for a South Korean airline in nearly 30 years, with the last major crash being the Korean Air disaster in 1997. Jeju Air, a low-cost airline, expressed deep condolences, stating that they would fully cooperate with investigators and prioritize supporting the families of those lost. The crash has left the nation in shock, and families are devastated as they await news of their loved ones.
Azerbaijan honors heroes of tragic plane crash. Azerbaijan came together on Sunday to mourn the victims of last week's devastating plane crash that killed 38 people. The country paid tribute to the pilots and crew who sacrificed their lives to save 29 passengers in an extraordinary act of heroism. Captain Igor Kshenyakin and co-pilot Alexander Kalyaninov were hailed as heroes for their actions during the final moments of the Embraer passenger jet's flight. Despite holes in the fuselage, injured crew, and a depressurized cabin, the pilots managed to steer the spiraling aircraft across the Caspian Sea, avoiding greater loss of life before it crash-landed. The pilots were laid to rest with full honors at Baku's Alley of Honor, a sacred burial ground for Azerbaijan's most revered figures. President Ilham Aliyev and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva attended the memorial ceremony highlighting the pilots' bravery. Captain Kshenyakin's daughter Anastasia spoke emotionally of her father's unwavering commitment to his passengers, calling him a true hero. Political unrest in Georgia as new president takes office. Georgia's political crisis deepened on Sunday as Mikheil Kavelashvili, known for his anti-West stance, was sworn in as the nation's new president. This move followed the government's controversial freezing of European Union membership application talks, a decision that has sparked widespread protests across the country. Outgoing President Salome Zurabichvili, a staunch pro-EU leader, addressed her supporters outside the presidential palace, declaring Kavelashvili's election illegitimate. She accused the ruling Georgian Dream Party of manipulating parliamentary elections in October, which she says were riddled with fraud. Opposition parties have echoed her claims, supporting her as the rightful leader. The Georgian government, however, maintains that the elections were free and fair, asserting Kavelashvili's legitimacy as president. This political standoff underscores Georgia's struggle between European integration and maintaining closer ties with regional powers. Israel's military operations in the Golan Heights. The Israeli military was observed on Sunday operating within the UN-patrolled demilitarized zone in the Golan Heights, a region separating Israeli-occupied areas from Syria. Military vehicles were seen entering and exiting the fenced area, sparking concerns about heightened tensions in this historically sensitive zone. These movements come amid ongoing tensions in the region, and while Israeli officials describe the deployment as a temporary security measure, they have not disclosed any plans for a withdrawal. The United Nations Security Council has extended its peacekeeping mission for 6 months, calling on all parties to avoid escalating the situation further. The Golan Heights has been a contentious area since the 1973 Arab-Israeli War, and this latest development has reignited fears of instability along the border. Tornadoes devastate U.S. southeastern states. At least 10 tornadoes wreaked havoc across Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi on Saturday, leaving destruction in their wake. One person was killed near Houston, Texas, while several others were injured as the powerful storms toppled trees, downed power lines, and destroyed homes. In Crockett, Texas, A particularly severe tornado caused significant damage, tearing parts of the roof off a clinic near a nursing home and bursting a water pipe, which exacerbated flooding in the area. Residents and emergency responders faced hazardous conditions as heavy rainfall and lightning battered the Texas Gulf Coast. In Galveston Bay, ominous storm clouds and relentless downpours created treacherous conditions for residents and drivers. Authorities are urging caution as cleanup and recovery efforts begin in these devastated communities